My wife asked for space 3 months ago. Those exact words. I need space to find myself. I remember sitting at our kitchen table when she said it, watching her twist her wedding ring around her finger like she was already trying to take it off. I said, "Okay, what else do you say when someone you love tells you they're drowning and you're somehow part of the water?" We sat down and made a list of boundaries. Well, Lauren made the list, and I agreed to it. No dating during the 3-month trial. No introducing Noah to new people, especially not new men. He'd stay with me during the week for school stability, her on weekends. She said it was about finding herself, about figuring out who she was outside of being a wife and mother. I kept paying the mortgage, kept showing up to Noah's basketball games, kept my head down at work planning traffic flow patterns and zoning maps for a city that never stops moving. 14 years of marriage. 1 kid. A house in the suburbs with a mortgage and a lawn that needs mowing. From the outside we looked fine. From the inside we were apparently falling apart and I didn't even know it. Then last Tuesday my phone rang during a meeting about a new bike lane proposal. Noah's school. The vice principal. My son had gotten into it with another kid during lunch and said something that made the staff freeze. The exact words were, "At least my real dad actually shows up." I'm his real dad. I've been his real dad for 11 years. Changed diapers, taught him to ride a bike, sat through every parent-teacher conference. So I left work early, drove to the school with this weird tightness in my chest, like someone was sitting on my ribs. The office lady was nice about it, very apologetic. Mrs. Henderson. She's worked there since Noah started kindergarten. She walked me through the incident report, explained that both boys got lunch detention, standard procedure. Noah sat outside the principal's office looking small and guilty in that way kids do when they know they've crossed a line but aren't sure they regret it yet. I signed the paperwork, was heading toward Noah when Mrs. Henderson called after me. "Oh, Mr. Walker, is Caleb picking Noah up today, or will you be handling it?" Just like that. Casual, like she was asking about the weather. I stopped walking, turned around. "Who's Caleb?" She looked confused, checked her computer screen, clicked around a bit. "Caleb Morris. He's listed here as an approved guardian for pickup in emergencies. I thought you knew." I'd never heard that name before in my life. I kept my voice level. "I'll be taking Noah home myself today, thanks." But inside, everything was tilting sideways. I drove home in silence. Noah stared out the window the whole time, wouldn't look at me. When we got home, I told him to start his homework, and I went into the home office and started pulling everything. The custody schedule Lauren and I had written up on our laptops. School forms, medical authorization paperwork, bank statements, anything that might tell me when this person entered my son's life and why nobody thought I should know about it. Here's what keeps me up at night. My son didn't invent the idea of having a different dad. Kids don't come up with that on their own. Someone taught him that language. Someone made him comfortable enough to say it out loud at school. And whoever Caleb Morris is, he's been close enough to my family to get his name on official documents while I was at work trying to keep everything stable. I don't have answers yet. Just this sick feeling in my stomach that the separation was never about Lauren finding herself. It was about her finding someone else, and testing whether Noah would accept him first before she had to tell me the truth. Update 1. I started paying attention. Really paying attention. The kind of attention you should give to your own life, but somehow don't until something breaks, and you're standing in the wreckage wondering how you missed all the cracks forming. Noah came home from Lauren's place last weekend wearing new basketball shoes. Not the ones we'd talked about getting him for his birthday next month. Not the brand he usually wears. These were expensive. Really expensive. I asked him where they came from. He shrugged. Coach C got them for me. Coach C. Like I was supposed to know who that was, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Who's Coach C? Another shrug. He helps Mom with stuff. He listens. That word, listens. It stuck in my brain like a splinter. Then I started hearing other things come out of Noah's mouth. Adult phrases, therapy language. He came home on Monday, and we were arguing about homework, and he said, "Feelings matter more than schedules, Dad." Just like that. An 11-year-old doesn't naturally talk like that. Someone taught him those words. Another time I asked him to turn off his video game for dinner, and he said, "You always make everything about work and rules." Not, "This is stupid," or "5 more minutes." Complete sentences about my parenting philosophy from a kid who still thinks fart jokes are peak comedy. I sat him down Tuesday night. Asked him directly who Coach C was. He looked at me like I was being difficult. He's Mom's friend. He's nice to us. He actually listens instead of just making us follow dumb rules. Us. He said us, not me. Us. Like he and Lauren were a unit, and I was outside it. I called Lauren that night, tried to keep my voice calm, but my hands were shaking so bad I had to put the phone on speaker. Who is Caleb Morris and why is he listed as an authorized guardian at Noah's school? Silence. Then, he's a friend. A good friend. Noah likes him. We had boundaries, Lauren. You made the boundaries. No new people around Noah during the separation. Those were guidelines, Mason. Not prison rules. Noah needs positive male role models in his life. Caleb shows up for us. He's present in ways that matter. I reminded her we agreed. That was the whole point of setting boundaries. She made a sound that might have been a laugh. You don't get to decide what kind of male role model Noah needs. You've been checked out for years, Mason. You're always at work or thinking about work. Caleb actually engages with him. Not we don't get to decide. I don't get to decide. Like somewhere during this separation, I lost my vote on how to raise my own son. That's when I understood. This whole thing was never about Lauren finding herself. It was about her building a replacement family while I kept the house running and the mortgage paid and tried to be the understanding, supportive husband who gives his wife space. She got to explore new relationships. I got to wait and trust the process. And Noah got caught in the middle of something he's way too young to navigate. I'm done arguing with Lauren. Arguments don't matter when someone's rewriting reality. What matters is facts. Documentation. Understanding how far this has gone and when it started. Because Noah's comment at school wasn't a random kid thing. It was too specific, too confident. Someone taught him to think of another man as his real dad. And I need to know who gave him permission to say it. Update 2. I requested copies of all the paperwork from Noah's school and his pediatrician's office. Standard stuff, right? Just making sure everything's updated. Took them 4 days to send it all. When I opened the files, I felt like I was reading documents about someone else's family. Lauren had updated the forms during our separation. Every single one. Emergency contacts, authorized pickup lists, medical decision makers. Caleb Morris appeared on all of them. Not just at school. At the doctor's office, at the after-school program Noah goes to twice a week. Everywhere that mattered, everywhere decisions about my son's life could be made, this stranger's name was listed right next to mine like he'd earned that spot. Like he was family. I went through our bank statements next. Joint account, still active even though we're separated. Found small withdrawals I didn't recognize. Nothing massive. Not like she was draining accounts or hiding money. Just consistent small amounts. Coffee shops I'd never heard of in a part of town Lauren doesn't usually go to. Venmo payments with vague descriptions. Again, not proof of anything dramatic, but enough to show planning. Enough to suggest she'd been building a separate life for a while now. Then Noah said something that made me feel like the floor dropped out. We were at home Thursday night and he was complaining about cleaning his room. Standard kid stuff. But then he said, totally casual, "At Caleb's place, we don't have dumb rules about cleaning up right away." I put down the dish I was washing. Turned around slowly. "You've been to Caleb's house?" "Yeah, a few times. It's cool. He has a pool table and he lets me stay up late on weekends." A few times. Stays up late. Like it's routine. Like it's normal. I called Lauren immediately. "Has Noah been sleeping at Caleb's house?" Long pause. Too long. "Once or twice, Mason. It's not a big deal." "I was there too. It's safe and healthy. You're making this into something it's not." Safe and healthy. My son's sleeping at a stranger's house, and I'm the one making it weird by having a problem with it. I went back to the school Friday morning before work. Asked them to remove Caleb from the authorized pickup list. The secretary was helpful but apologetic. She explained that because of how the custody arrangement was documented, because Lauren had primary weekend custody and had made these updates during that time, I couldn't just delete someone from the list unilaterally. I'd need Lauren's consent or a court order. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't some villain reveal. It was administrative reality, bureaucratic systems working exactly as designed. And somehow, through paperwork and procedures, I'd been quietly locked out of decisions about my own son's safety. That weekend I needed to talk to Noah. Really talk. Not the surface stuff. So Saturday morning I made pancakes, his favorite, and we sat at the kitchen table and I asked him straight, "Did you call Caleb Dad at school?" He didn't cry, didn't look guilty. He looked defensive, almost defiant, like he'd been preparing for this conversation. "Mom said you're the reason she was unhappy for years. She said you care more about zoning maps than about us." Zoning maps. That's specific. That's something Lauren would say, not Noah. "Caleb actually listens when we talk," he continued. "He asks about my day and remembers stuff. You're always working or tired or thinking about work. He doesn't make us feel guilty for wanting more." Us. There it was again. Us. He and Lauren as a unit with Caleb. I was the outsider now. "He's teaching me basketball moves and he says I'm good enough to make the travel team if I practice. You never have time to practice with me." Every word was a punch. Not because it was mean, because it was practiced. Because it was a narrative someone else had built and handed to him, where I was the absent workaholic. Where Caleb was the solution. The guy who showed up. The guy who listened. The guy who didn't have dumb rules. I hired a family law attorney Monday morning. Not because I wanted to fight, because I needed to stop my kid from being used as a weapon. I also called a child therapist that afternoon. Someone independent. Someone who could help Noah figure out what he actually felt versus what he'd been taught to feel. The attorney was blunt. "You have grounds for modification of custody, parental alienation patterns, introduction of romantic partner during agreed separation, unauthorized guardian designation. Document everything. Stay calm. Let her keep making mistakes." But I didn't want revenge. I wanted my son back. Not back like possession. Back like connection. Like he could look at me and see his dad instead of the villain in someone else's story. Final update, my attorney laid it out clearly. I had a strong case. Introduction of a romantic partner during our agreed separation period. Clear patterns of parental alienation with documented evidence of coaching. Unauthorized guardian insertion that effectively sidelined me from my son's daily life. She thought we could push for modified custody, maybe even primary placement given the circumstances. But then I met with the child therapist, Dr. Rivera. She'd done an evaluation session with Noah. She was gentle but direct with me. "Your son is in what we call an identity split stage. He's 11, approaching adolescence, and he's caught between two narratives about his family. If you force him to choose sides aggressively right now, if you make this into a custody battle where he feels like he has to pick a parent, you risk long-term psychological damage. He needs stability. He needs accountability, but he can't be used as a weapon by either of you." That hit me hard, because part of me wanted to fight, wanted to win, wanted to prove Lauren wrong and get my son back and make Caleb disappear. But Dr. Rivera was right. Noah wasn't a prize to be won. He was a kid who needed his parents to stop making his life into a war zone, so I made a choice that didn't feel like winning. I proposed a structured plan through mediation instead of court. Caleb gets removed from all official guardian lists immediately, non-negotiable. Noah's transitions between households start happening at a neutral location, the library parking lot, with a structured handoff time. No more random schedule changes. My parenting time starts with therapy-supported visits. We'd meet at Dr. Rivera's office, do activities together, process things with professional support. No pressure on Noah, no interrogations, just rebuilding trust slowly. Lauren got formal documentation about parental alienation behaviors. Court-adjacent language that made it very clear this wasn't a suggestion. If she continued coaching Noah or using him to process her feelings about our marriage, there would be legal consequences. If Caleb appeared at any school functions or medical appointments, same thing. Lauren fought it at first. Said I was being controlling. Said I was trying to punish her for being honest about her needs, but her attorney apparently explained the alternative. That if we went to court, if a judge heard about her introducing a romantic partner during a trial separation she had proposed, if they saw the documentation of guardian designation without my knowledge, she'd likely lose ground. So she agreed to the structure. The first few months were rough. Caleb started backing away once there were actual legal boundaries. Turns out being someone's escape fantasy is a lot more fun than being their actual co-parent with responsibilities and restrictions. He'd signed up for the fun parts, the pool table and late nights, and being the cool guy. Not the reality of custody schedules and therapy sessions, and having to actually parent a kid through hard emotions. Lauren panicked. I could see it in her face during the handoffs. She'd expected me to stay passive and predictable, to keep being the stable one while she figured out her life. Now there were rules, consequences. Her friends started asking questions. Her parents got involved and weren't happy about what they heard. The whole thing stopped being an adventure and started being real. Noah's behavior got worse before it got better. He was angry at everyone. His grades dropped. He got into trouble at school twice more, testing boundaries everywhere because his whole world had shifted. But slowly, it stabilized. The therapy sessions helped. Dr. Rivera gave him space to be mad without having to perform for anyone. Gave him permission to love both his parents without it being a betrayal. 2 years later, I'm living 3 hours away. Got promoted to a regional planning position. Better pay, quieter city, chance to start fresh. I'm dating someone now. Her name's Jenna. She's a landscape architect. We met at a professional conference and started slow. She knows the broad strokes of what happened, but she doesn't need the full story right away. Doesn't push. Doesn't demand to be introduced to Noah. Just exists in my life as a good thing without needing to fix everything. Noah's 13 now. We have an email account set up through the therapy agreements. I can't just call him whenever I want because of the structure we built, but we can write. Last Thursday I got a message from him. Just 3 sentences. I don't know who was right about everything, but I know I miss you. Can we maybe talk sometime? I didn't answer right away. Sat with it for 3 days. Let myself feel everything. The anger at how much time we lost. The grief for the dad I used to be. The relief that he still wants me in his life. Then I wrote back. Told him I missed him too. That I was here whenever he was ready. That love doesn't have an expiration date, and I'd wait as long as he needed. We're planning a weekend next month. Just us. He wants to go hiking, apparently. Something Caleb never did with him because Caleb turned out to be allergic to actual effort. We'll probably be awkward. Probably run out of things to say. But we'll start there. I didn't walk away from my son. I walked away from the version of myself that begged to be chosen, that made myself smaller trying to prove I was worth keeping. Now I'm rebuilding the bridge the slow way. One email at a time. One honest conversation at a time. It's not the ending I wanted when this started, but it's the one that lets both of us heal without destroying each other in the process.